Mr. President, before my friend, the senator from Texas, leaves, I want to make sure he understands that I'm rising now in support of the nomination of Congressman Mike Pompeo to be director of the Central Intelligence Agency. But before I speak on the nominee, I do want to take a moment to address the criticism that has been leveled against my colleagues who asked for time to debate the nomination. As members of the United States Senate, we are responsible to the American people to make measured, thoughtful decisions. I will support this nomination, but again, I fully respect the right of my colleagues to ask for time to debate the nomination on its merits. And I know Senator Wyden and others will be coming to the floor later today to raise their issues. Be clear at the outset, I do not agree with some of the views that Congressman Pompeo has expressed, and our personal and political views are widely divergent. While Congressman Pompeo and I disagree on many issues, I believe he can be an effective leader at the CIA. In our private discussions and in the open and closed hearings, he has convinced me that he will follow the law banning torture. And let me be clear, as the Vice Chairman of the Intelligence Committee, I will oppose any effort to change law or policy to once again torture detainees. And I will keep a careful watch to ensure that no one ever tries to do so again. I've also received public and private assurances from Congressman Pompeo that he will accurately represent the unvarnished views of the analysts and folks who work at the CIA, and that he will relay those views no matter what the President or others want to hear. One of the most important jobs of the role of the Intelligence Committee is speaking truth to power. Congressman Pompeo has also given me assurances that he will support those who work for the CIA and not discriminate against anyone based on their personal views. And not in the least, that he will cooperate with Congress, particularly as we look into Russia's efforts to interfere in our election system. I heard that my friend, the senator from Texas, call out the former Director of National Intelligence, Jim Clapper, over 50 years in the intelligence business. And again, Mr. Clapper, along with all the other leaders of the Intelligence Committee, basically have said that the Russian efforts to interfere in our elections in this past year were unprecedented. Now, we all know that President Trump has said some unacceptable things about the intelligence community, accusing them of leaks and of politicizing intelligence. Those of us who serve on the Select Committee on Intelligence, indeed all of us in Congress, and I know I see my friend, the chairman of the committee here on the floor, know that those attacks were unwarranted and should not be continued. Congressman Pompeo did not participate in those attacks. Instead, throughout his tenure on the House Intelligence Committee, he showed respect for the intelligence community and worked to help make them even better. His former colleagues and staff of the committee speak highly of him, even when they disagreed. Since he was nominated for the position of director, Mr. Pompeo has spent a great deal of time at the CIA, working with the professionals out there to understand his new role and the challenges he will face. We've had a number of conversations about that. I've heard nothing that undermines my view that he will treat the employees of the agency with the decency and fairness they deserve. And since most of those employees also happen to be my constituents, I will watch his actions very carefully. Under Congressman Pompeo, the CIA will face many challenges. For example, the growth of open source information and big data will supplement and challenge traditional collection means. The agency has the increasing need to operate in expeditionary and non-traditional environments, which will drive a need for changes in personnel, support, and training. The agency will have and need an increasingly diverse workforce, which grew up online, which will create new opportunities, but also new problems, for example, in establishing and maintaining cover. And if he's confirmed as director, Mr. Pompeo will have to complete and sometimes tweak the reorganization begun by his predecessor, John Brennan. While Congressman Pompeo and I disagree on many issues, and I suspect we'll disagree on many in the future, I support his nomination. I believe that he can be a good leader for the CIA and will cooperate with the oversight of the SSCI and Congress. Thank you, Mr. President, and I yield the floor.